Not just any games, but the second semifinal of this replay tournament between this could even be a final. I mean, Maggo and Swim have been playing really well. The panel did say Swim has been lucky, and I'm going to have to get on that same side. It's been, you know, a wild ride with Swim.
Listen, I said before, we were talking about how Shanna has been performing, and we've been saying, well, he got lucky too, but you can't blame somebody for getting lucky. That's out of their control. The one thing I will say about Swim is, in every one of those games, he was playing to his outs and was putting himself in a position to capitalize on opportunity and on luck. So good players do that, right? Good players find a way to win the game even when they shouldn't. So I do want to highlight that, and hats off to Swim. However, the reason I'm choosing Maggo is because I think his lists are just better positioned to beat Swim's lineup. It's not an indictment on Swim's skill at all. I just firmly believe in the lists in this case, and so I'm going with Maggo.
Well, I just said it so that Rob has to lose no matter what. Playing the strategy of the pie game, the real important thing here, not this tournament actually.
I mean, there is that too. And you say cop-out, but you guys threw it to us late when the game was already going. And I was on the desk saying Shanna might be the favorite, so of course.
Me too. That's exactly what I was saying.
No, I don't know if you said. I don't know if you said that, but I'm the one who actually called that out because again, Shanna has been a giant killer, right? I mean, your resume has Hoy and hyped, and now an appearance on the finals. Win or lose, I think Shanna has an awful lot to be proud of in the next match. But before we get there, we have
the game is live. This is an OG match between two closed beta Gwent players, not Artifact.
Yeah.
Before this time even came, they were already known in Gwent, so we're going to see them coming into, and well, Outworld Devourer, good job there. You're dying even with your nice 7 health. Well done, buddy.
Richard.
Nice passive. Let's see if it procs for once. The Legionnaire can come down.
Yeah, the Legionnaire could come down.
And I want to highlight a card in Maggo's hand. So much armor in mono blue. Really going to come in clutch for Maggo here.
You know, you say that, but I have a feeling that Swim is going to get some Helm of the Dominator that has armor or something from the secret shop.
Or a Vesture even.
Yeah, so that it can do nothing.
And there we see the Ignite comes down in lane 2. Finds a nice trade here for Ogre onto the creep. The Legionnaire can come down though. Threaten to trade here with this creep or even damage the Ogre a tiny bit.
And there could even be a compel here if you want to cycle and save one of these creeps, maybe just to block that Bristleback a turn longer. Right? Forcing the Bristleback to attack the other creep instead of the one in front of it could be... Oh, no, he's just going to save that creep. Set up a trade long-term. That's also acceptable.
That second creep will be dying to Ignite as well, so nice setup, upkeep kills there from Swim.
So that compel tells me that Swim is not thinking about Zeus being in the middle lane next turn because it would end up right in front of Bristleback.
Second Ignite can come in probably to the first lane. I don't think Swim will double up in the second lane. Would be a bit overkill, I believe. And we do see the panel mentioned Maggo being very expressive. We're going to see a whole lot of emotions coming in from Maggo. Can buy a lot of golden tickets as well. I hope he continues doing so. I'm very proud of him. Gambling his life away.
I know that you are. So, yeah, Maggo expressive. Little known fact, Swim also very expressive, just not with his facial expressions minus the eyebrows. Typically his hands.
Expressions?
Yeah, his hands.
His hand? All
in
right.
person.
I like feet more.
He's a fan of the warm embrace.
Maybe he moves his toes when something goes right.
It's possible.
There's a chance.
So Zeus is going in this first lane. However, there's a PA going there as well. Maggo knows, 1, Zeus is likely coming here, and 2, again, the black hero being in the first lane when you have a pickoff, when you have these ganks, very beneficial. And unfortunately for Zeus, he did not win this shell game.
Well, there were pretty high odds that he would be dying here. Third Ignite found for Swim, so the setup is there. And I'm going to remind the viewers, this Lodestone was included at the expense of a pickoff.
Yes.
Pickoff could kill Luna here. That would be pretty fantastic, huh?
Yeah, it would, but he was blinded by the possibility of winning a game with this Lodestone. All that hype. I'm sure he watched the stream and he said, I want to be that guy. I want the spotlight.
The third Ignite can come down. Can have the triple Prey on the Weak set up anywhere you go. The Hounds will thrive.
Well, maybe, maybe not. Swim is taking his time here. It does feel like the most likely play, but he may also just decide to abandon that lane a little bit. That's a very strong lane already, and if you're going to be losing your other options, you could maybe justify it, but setting up the prey on the weak in every lane, it does make the most sense.
Swim not picking any favorites. Every lane gets their own Ignite.
Well, when you're losing every lane, you might as well not pick favorites, right?
The Blink Dagger has been acquired by Maggo. He can also play Legion Standard Bearer here to make sure the Ogre is just pushed down into the ground, deep into the grave, with a whole lot of damage coming through. No way to save it, of course.
Yeah, this is a rough start for Swim, unfortunately, and that's not uncommon with blue decks. It is very well known that they struggle in the early game, and then after a mana turn 6, starting right around that time is when they start to turn things around. However, you got to make it there.
Very early Arcane Assault. Looks like it might just be to cycle here. A bit of an awkward hand for Swim.
Yeah.
With the Ignites played, fantastic, but aside from that, you have 2 Eclipses you cannot play for at least one more turn. The Ogre gets modified here.
I like that cycle because even with the Eclipses, if you know that your Luna is also about to die, then, well, and because of this, you actually get an out. But, well, maybe not, because you're going to still die to the creep. Anyway, the point is if you know your Luna's about to die, that's also less charges on your Eclipse.
You can kill yourself if you're Luna. Only 3 units on the entire board for Swim, so Luna will die, but, you know, it will die anyway, only pushing 1 damage into Axe.
Yeah.
But the creep here would be trading with this creep, so not that fine. I think this is the time to play it, though. I mean, Diabolic is a card that, as the game goes on, it's only going to get worse, so...
He properly realizes, I can't save either of these units either way, and 2 cards is better than 1.
A Seppuku, not a Sudoku Slacks.
And saving the cunning plans for when they might be more impactful makes an awful lot of sense, so heads-up play.
Every lane in control for Maggo. We kind of saw that the same in the last series there between Shauna and the Storm deck. 2 heroes coming in, but it might just be too little too late. Every lane in control. Annihilation not yet ready. Eclipse not yet ready. We're still at 5 mana. The Ignites are fantastic.
Yeah, I stand by my assessment that I think this mono-red list with the splash, if you will, of Phantom Assassin has been a standout of this tournament for me. Shanna taking it to the finals. Maggo performing very well with it here. I think that it targets some of the other top-tier decks very well with its cross-lane killability and its strong early game.
Killability, I like that word.
Well, it's technically 2 words, killability.
I know, I like it together more.
I just slur my words because
Killability. Sounds like
I'm unprofessional, but we can adopt it. Sure.
We're adopting it.
We've coined it, killability.
Great killability arrow there by Phantom Assassin, just to make sure that Tidehunter gets some help, because he is a very weak boy for now. Time of Triumph is in hand, though, so maybe in 3 turns with no natural ramp in this deck, Tidehunter can become a big, crabby boy.
A big fish in the sea?
Well, he's already a pretty big fish, but he can get bigger.
Right now, he's a watermelon.
He has a wheel as a belt. That's terrible, Tidehunter. That's some fashion sense.
What do you even need a belt for if you're a fish? Right?
Life is weird in the ocean, Charmer. But this kill on Legion will not happen. Stonehawk Cloak is there. Dimensional Portal can stall out for Swim, but little else.
Yeah, those early cloaks are actually massive for Maggo because they do a fantastic job of keeping your heroes out of Thunder God's Wrath range as well. And then you also have Tidehunter, who's just naturally out of range. So everything that Maggo needs to try to make this work in his favor, he has. He's picked up the gank for later. He hasn't enough magic for interruption.
Now the curve helped keep this Outworld Devourer alive, but Stonehawk Cloak on the Phantom Assassin, Blink Dagger, and then the gank onto Kana will secure a kill, and a solitaire round for Bristleback and Axe moving forward. Yeah, is what we will be seeing here.
Now, depending on when you value this Kana dying, you actually might be tempted to wait 1 turn, right? Let the damage fall in at this turn and then proactively do it next turn. But Blink Dagger means you can just do it now.
Yeah, the kill ability comes through for PA with the Blink Dagger now equipped. Has 12 attack. Well, 8 plus 4 from the
efficient killer, continuous effect.
Kill ability to kill the Kana in lane 2. And unfortunately, Bristleback is blocked right now, so the damage won't really come through. Second cunning plan to cycle from Swim does find the Foresight and the Sanctum, so pretty good draws for him to play in lane 2. But little does he know, there will be no lane 2 for this turn at least, I believe.
Since we're officially adopting killability as a word, does this mean it's legal for us to choose in Contact?
No.
Fair. All right, so we're likely going to see a gank, but again, depending on when you value this Kana dying, you may wait, right? Just because if you... timing against the blue deck sometimes matters, right? And we saw that when we seen Shanna play last round. Having the heroes die and then not be able to deploy on mana turn 6 was important. Could be a consideration, but no.
There's a gank coming in. We could see a blink from PA to not make this lane as scary for the next turn, because at this point, Swim, he's going to have initiative. He wants it or not. There's literally no way for him to lose initiative, even if he tried. Well, never mind. He can't blink his Outworld. So I think it makes sense for Maggo to split his resources, play 2 heroes in lane 2. If Annihilation comes in next turn, he's not getting that 1 for 3 special in Swim's favor. Even, try and get that damage onto Tidehunter to kill Outworld Devourer next turn.
Yeah, Maggo, just good use of resources here. I am a fan.
Not much to do here, really. No real impactful plays apart from that gank this turn. But Berserker's Call is there for next turn. Could be massive. You have this very healthy axe here.
All right, now Swim, as of right now, no Annihilation in hand. These Eclipses do not have a lot of charges. If you put Luna in the first lane, you do pick up 1 more, but you need to draw something to slow down that first lane if that's your plan.
Lost in Time can lock some of these cards for a few turns, though. We are at 6 mana now for both players, so cards like Eclipse, like Lost in Time, like Berserker's Call come online finally, and the real show starts.
Please, please, don't lock the Lodestone. We need to see it against this blue deck.
Maggo would be very happy if the Lodestone and the Time of Triumph are locked. Time of Triumph won't come down for 2 turns anyway, so it wouldn't slow it down that much. And Berserker's Call really has to stay alive for this turn, I think. I think we will see a Sanctum come down first, though. There is no smashes in Maggo's deck. There are no damaging mauls, so all the players today not favoring improvement removal could get punished here.
15 seconds remaining.
Yeah, they're just relying on their fundamentals, and Swim taking his time here. Known for using his clock earlier in the tournament, so no stranger to this, knows time as a resource like a lot of veteran players do. And Maggo has picked up a Legion Standard Bearer and a Spring the Trap from his draw.
Annihilation has been found. Only 3 charges on Eclipse, but the synergy with the Ignite could be enough to take down a few heroes. We're going to see a Sanctum come down first. No counter from. Ooh, and the +2 from Outworld Devourer is huge here because he can now play a Foresight Refresh and play a second Foresight or even an Eclipse as well. Could kill the Legion. But a really big play there from Outworld Devourer.
Yeah, that is amazing that card got some value.
Enough magic, though, could kill 2 blue heroes and stop all this mana. We're going to see a pass instead from Maggo.
I think he's going to wait until the refresh and then maybe activate it.
Well, you're just giving your opponent another play, though. I think he's just keeping initiative for the Berserker's Call in lane number 2, possibly.
Yep, that is also entirely reasonable. Let's be honest, if you thought your opponent had an Annihilation, then you might have had, the consideration they would have led with that. Also, by putting 2 blue heroes here, you're likely not thinking, oh, they're going to Annihilate, so just waiting it out.
At this point, Annihilation isn't really a problem because it's a 2-for-2 trade. You're not really dealing damage to the tower anyway, so I think Swim wants to save that for much later on when he has the chance to actually stop lethal or stop a game-winning play from Maggo, for example, like a Time of Triumph. The pass from Maggo still being very patient. No Arcane Assault found for Swim, so unless...
And there's the Lost into Time.
Berserker's Call is not found.
And
the Lodestone locked.
That's not half bad
so
for
only,
Maggo.
Only 2 cards locked, really. Lodestone is literally unplayable in this matchup.
Yeah, and the Spring the Trap was going to wait a turn anyway, so that's really, lost value there.
I'm pretty sure the Lodestone might even heal if it's minus armor. I'm not entirely sure. Don't believe me on that one, but try and test it for yourselves before you start playing that card. I mean, there's -2 armor everywhere, except for this lane. We'll see the Berserker's Call here, I think, just to clear out the creep and the Zeus and push through a lot of damage in the second lane. There it is.
And there it is.
The armor comes in for Bristleback. 4 armor now. And 20 damage pushing through in this lane. 22, the third lane already very weak as well.
Yeah, this is, again, a great start by Maggo. Had a lot of things go his way early, but as we've said, good players just take advantage of the opportunities, right? You put yourself in a position to win.
Eclipse is a perfect clear in this lane. So because of the Luna is now charging at 1 more charge, 4 charges will machine gun everything out of the lane. And Swim does not have to worry about this lane being so low because he has reset it technically.
For now. The longer this game goes, the more that Time of Triumph will begin to matter because you'll have to use Annihilation to clear things out. So this turn we're on mana turn 7, but the following turn when Time of Triumph is available, it will be very impactful for that third lane.
Now we're at mana turn 7, Sanctum on the board, Thunder God's Wrath in hand, but the missing piece of the puzzle, Ogre multicasts, are not here. Ogre isn't the fountain right now, so some potential high roll value lost for Swim. Tidehunter's Ravage, though, 100% value here, although Jasper Daggers are in hand.
There are plenty of options that are actually available, because you do have the Ravage. I'm not a fan of the play, but you could just use enough magic if you wanted, or you could be conservative, but we see the Ravage.
Now, Swim is baiting the Jasper Daggers for now, I think. He's going to make Maggo believe he doesn't have anything. And if we see a big commitment from Maggo, maybe even just a Legion Standard Bearer, Swim could start thinking about things like at any cost, things like Eclipse, things like Annihilation as well, and surprise Maggo. Once his mana is spent, he'll have 7 mana plus the refresh to do whatever he wants, if the daggers do come down in the end.
Yeah, and when you say whatever he wants, there's an awful lot of what he might want in hand. Cunning Plan, Compel, they both cycle. We have a Foresight, which would pair very well with the at any cost.
And for every card played, you could get the 2 mana back, so it could be a huge turn for Swim. We'll see the Legion Standard Bearer.
There it is. I have to think we're going to see a Daggers, and there it is.
Yep. The debate from Swim. Maggo thought he was in control. Instead, it is now Swim with the answer. He can play at any cost to clear out the Legion, the Standard Bearer, and the both these creeps. It'll be a 1-for-1 duel here.
Yeah, we talked about Maggo being expressive, was just shaking his head, not happy.
Big heal from Maggo there, making sure Legion does survive the at any cost.
And the Thunder Gods comes in.
Pretty good value, 4 heroes on the board. Multicast not a possibility just yet on Outworld Devourer. Maybe the buff once it comes in.
Yeah, but it does, if you refresh and want to play that at any cost, make it so that the Tidehunter would perish. So it would clear everything but the Legion Commander. And you could pair that with something like Foresight, or you might even just Foresight first and see what your options are. Swim has an awful lot of lines of play, even more factoring in the Outworld Devourer passive. But yeah, we see the Foresight. Gets the passive.
Up 2 mana. Still, if he wants to play a 4-mana card, not going to be that useful. Any cost comes out instead.
Yeah.
He does not get the refresh there, so he can still play Cunning Plan, and then that would be the last 2-mana spell, so can't find more value than that, really.
Can you play? Yeah, I was going to say you have to have a target, if
I
you
got
will.
ahead of myself there. I was too excited. And that great, exciting passive.
Upkeep kill on that Bristleback is also setting Maggo back a little bit in terms of pressuring this, and the arrow for the Phantom Assassin is blocking a fair amount of damage as well.
And PA in a really tough spot. No heals means that she either dies here next turn or she dies here this turn. If she blinks away, Lucent Beam will strike the PA down. Well, Swim going for the kill here with the creep instead.
And because it is a mostly red deck with just a splash of black, Maggo has no black cards in hand, so there's nothing to play and get value. And this is being a turning point, but it's exactly what we said. Right around mana turn 6 or 7 is when blue tries to get its foothold. And we're seeing, 3 heroes that died this turn for Maggo. Swim starting to snowball, getting the pressure. This might be a bit of a turnaround.
17 gold does not find anything too exciting in the Secret Shop. Traveler's Cloak there instead. Richard not coming through for Swim there. But Mono Blue, like you said, has taken full control of the game now. This is the turning point. 8 mana. A whole ton of cards where red-black is really just limited to a few cards. Time of Triumph can finally come down, but it might be too late, considering that the chip damage is almost done here, almost under 20. Bolt is already in hand, and there's only 1 deployment for Maggo, so he can only really
surrender in 30 seconds.
Do so much. Both players really taking their time, though. 25 seconds for Swim, 1 minute left for Maggo.
Yeah, and the fact that Swim's going to have all 5 heroes available and has a Sanctum in the first lane here means that even when Maggo gets to deploy his 3 heroes next turn, Swim will have an awful lot of options, lines of play. He's got a Thunder God's Wrath in hand, and as such, I'm a little surprised we didn't see the Ogre be the hero that went to this first lane, because if Ogre survived, then you would have had multicast opportunities, but...
And the setup was there from Swim. The draw, the Time of Triumph comes down. This could just be Annihilation.
Yeah, I was just going to say, if you think you might Annihilate, then not putting it here actually makes a lot of sense, because with Blink Dagger, you can always go backwards and ensure that the Ogre is in this lane to start the next turn.
course, if you're going to annihilate all these plays, make very little sense. Depending on the week, they would all die, obviously. And
Right.
now this is a pickle here. Do you let this hero blink out first? You have to play Annihilation now. You would just do a 2-for-2 trade. Oh, the Imprisonment comes out instead.
Yeah, or you could just lock it here, blink your Zeus out, and then blow up the lane. Again, heads up play by Swim. And I think that's exactly what we're going to see. And who would have thought? Outworld Devourer making an impact.
There's the Annihilation 2-for-1 trade for Swim. Resets this turn once again. Solitaire mode for Mono Blue. 2 heroes in lanes 2 and 3. And nothing for Maggo to do but watch.
Yeah, and this lane is continuing to snowball a bit out of control. The Prey on the Weak is going to be a bunch of extra damage as well. And
Short swords can come down.
I think we are going to see that because if you can take one tower the old-fashioned way, and with this one so wide against this red blacklist, this is the most likely one, then you can use Bolt to take down the other one. And yeah, this blue list was under heavy pressure early on, and then right in the mid-game, 6 and 7, got things under control.
And you can use an Eclipse here if you are Swim to push through a tiny bit of extra damage, but maybe not worth it at this point. Going to go down to 14, under 20 here. This tower I think naturally will go down. There isn't an answer in red-black for the very wide lane. Chain Frost and Lich not played in the list for Maggo. Well, it is more of a mono red with a single black hero, so it does make sense, but...
And we are seeing a triple hero deployment in the first lane. Now, granted, we've got some mobility there, right?
Yeah, double blink
2 of them
daggers.
have blink daggers. Maggo does still need to take 2 towers.
Ooh, the gank could be huge.
Yeah, the gank could be very, very
and
huge.
the Kraken Shell, this could be fantastic for Maggo. He can gank from this lane, blink out 2 heroes, Kraken Shell the Bristleback, and then still have an issue to kill the last hero in the last lane. So this is pretty. Then damage will come through here as well from Bristleback. He definitely has a lot of mana to play with. He can play a 4-mana gank, a 4-mana Legion Standard Bearer, and then finish with the Kraken Shell with the 9 total mana here. We're going to see that happen. The gank comes through.
Yeah. The problem is that this still might be a little bit too early. And what I mean by that is that you can stop that tower from going down this turn, but then Outworld Devourer will deploy next turn, and you still have to stop the Bolt.
I think Maggo's out might be to play, considering that Swim does not have Annihilation. And maybe keep the Kraken Shell for the next turn, but it's risky. He can play Coup in this lane, duel to open up a combat slot for damage to the tower, and then also play Kraken Shell with 9 mana. We'll see how he decides to go through this here. Obviously, we can see all the cards, but Maggo has limited information. Has to try and make a sequencing guess to try and find the out in this matchup that looked to be very much not in his favor. Like we said, gank and then the Legion coming down. 1 mana is still up for Kraken Shell. Ooh.
Ooh. Now that I find interesting. The only thing I can think of is that you wanted to play Spring the Trap, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So you're utilizing the middle tower's mana as a resource.
And again, the attack from Titan will not be too impactful.
Yeah.
I think he knows he can play Spring the Trap and also Kraken Shell as well. But
Yeah, this is actually a really heads-up play by Maggo, remembering that you have mana as a resource in all your locations, and if you're playing the Coup in the last tower, you're not playing Spring the Trap. And I like this play a lot.
And now the 10 health on PA is fantastic because it can dodge 2 Thunder God's Wraths, and also the Ignite would be down to 1 HP still. There would not be an upkeep kill on it. Annihilation is drawn now. So initiative might have to be stolen back if you are Maggo. But he has to wait. He has to wait for this mana to be spent to make sure Arcane Assault can come back to answer. I think that's why he played the Tidehunter here as well, just to make sure he can keep initiative without the Kana or Zeus stealing it back in lane 2.
I'll kill our
But this could be a problem.
Yeah, the Kana moving over.
There's a counterplay from Swim.
A tribute to the gods.
And unfortunately, I mean, your outs there were like you could play enough magic before the Kana blinks, but then you don't have initiative, so you're in the same pickle that you were before. And the Kana goes over, slows down the assault on that tower, and also prevents the Coup from being as effective.
Initiative in favor of Maggo, though. There are 2 heroes there now. You can...
You can't run from the heavens.
There's a single Thunder God's Wrath. Weakens the PA. Maybe opens up for an Eclipse, possibly.
Yeah, softening up the presence in that lane.
Stop fighting till
Kraken
the
Shell, I
battles
think, is going to be
fall.
saved for the next turn, so that Tidehunter can use it to save the initiative in this lane. We're going to see the coup here on Takana.
Yeah, that makes the most sense, not only because it pushes more damage to the tower, but Kano is the more resilient hero.
And the Lodestone to heal the, the tower for Swim. Again, a card that has literally zero value in this matchup. It cannot be played. Eclipse does come down, and PA does survive the machine gun.
Yeah,
but the multicast comes in only at 1 chart, so not too impactful here.
Yeah, but unfortunately, Phantom Assassin is going to die to the trade.
Well, the TP could come in, but initiative would be lost in favor of Swim. But again, with 2 heroes coming in next turn, it could be okay. We're going to see 10 damage coming through from the Centaur, and would not be enough to kill it with siege damage from Time of Triumph next turn, so very close.
Yeah, again, though, the biggest issue the following turn is that Swim has Bolt. And so if you don't have a way to get both initiative and kill Outworld Devourer and this Ogre, you're just going to lose. So
Well, you can initiative in lane 1 with Kraken Shell.
yeah, you can. I mean, you have ways to get initiative, but you have to be able to kill this Ogre and this Outworld Devourer.
Maggo has to either not play for initiative or Swim has to draw Arcane Assault. But here, of course, Outworld Devourer is simply going to bother in lane 1, I think. Their initiative is there. He can annihilate to reset that lane. Then he'd lose initiative. Legion goes to lane 2.
Yeah.
I think just to guarantee there is a body to play Kraken Shell on.
Well,
'cause-
I also think that it is because of the Blink Dagger, right? So you could still blink Legion, but have her dodge an Annihilation,
Yep.
and then use Kraken Shell on the Tidehunter to steal your initiative back.
And with the Sanctum there, you can play, for example, an Eclipse, kill Tidehunter, and then play Arcane Assault. So I think the 22 health pool on Legion is massive to make sure that either Annihilation comes down or you have the chance to steal back initiative with Kraken Shell anyway. We'll see if Arcane Assault is drawn for Swim.
There is
Is
also, like, listen, Maggo's thinking, all right, I lose to Bolt in this last lane, right? But I have enough pressure in the first lane to maybe take this tower. And the Legion is big enough that in that second lane, if I have like a duel or something to get rid of a creep that's in front of my Legion commander, I could just take the second lane as well. So it's possible that that was the train of thought, but that Eclipse is huge.
Prey on the Weak, useless. Every other card here pretty much useless.
I
guess you can play Thunder God's
Yeah, I was
Wrath.
going to say, we may see Thunder God's Wrath here.
Refresh. Or even just the Bolt. I mean, it brings it down quite low.
There's no way you play the Bolt here.
There's a chance.
It's the only one in his list, and he's waiting to secure a victory in that third lane.
I mean, you know there are no heroes coming in next turn anyway, so
Yeah, but there's
a chance for blinks. That is true.
chance for blinks, right?
I have become
Swim is conservative. He plays to his outs.
Now initiative. This tower is also dangerously low actually for Swim.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I was mentioning, right? If you have a way to potentially have taken that first lane, now he didn't, but if he did and then he came here, there was the opportunity he could have just prevented Bolt by winning.
The Flask comes in just to soak up any damage from Thunder God's Wrath, from Eclipse, for example. Now Annihilation is really the only counter here when Time of Triumph is on Legion and a very healthy Tidehunter.
And this Blink Dagger on Zeus is relevant as well because that's one more hero in that third lane that you would potentially have to kill or prevent activating.
Now, initiative is in favor of Swim. He's going to pass. He knows that if he has initiative and he goes to lane 3, he wins the game. He has the Bolt. We're at 10 mana. Maggo going to slow play. He has 2 Kraken Shells. So even if Swim has 1 Arcane Assault, which he does not, Maggo knows he has a chance to still steal back initiative. The game is all about initiative at the moment. Nothing else matters. There are no cross-lane spells to kill the Ogre from this lane. There's not going to be an upkeep kill either, which means that only initiative matters. The
All
first
right.
Kraken Shell.
So here's the first, and now I assume we're going to see a blink from Swim.
The Arcane Assault check is not going to come through for Swim. So Maggo knows he has initiative. He can play enough magic to stop anything from happening this next turn and still have 1 more Kraken Shell next turn.
Wow. Instead of the blink, he just locks the Legion Commander down, but there is a Jasper Daggers. However, that means you can't blink because you overwrite the blink.
Yep.
So very, very big play. This is not one, but 2 imprisonments coming in clutch in this matchup.
He stops damage on this tower as well. And Maggo just knows that if he survives, he's happy enough. But we mentioned it. Next turn, I think I would have just liked to see Zeus maybe. Well, you have the lethal here anyway, so.
Here's the thing. You can't enough magic because you just lose.
Yeah, this is it.
And if you coup de grace, you lose to Bolt. So
Congratulations,
congratulations, Swim. Look at that little smile. He knows.
You'll have to try better than that.
Well, we saw the lodestone, and Swim is laughing.
I think Maggo knew he had, well, he was going to lose that game for sure, so Swim laughs.
Yeah. And did you see that amazing animation?
I'm very disappointed. All this hype for nothing. That was a terrible card. I'm not. Did it heal the tower? It didn't, right?
I don't know.
I think it didn't.
Down is up, left is right.
But that will be game 1 for Swim.
Yeah,
On a more
congratulations,
serious
Swim.
note, that was a very, a checkmate from him, slowly choking out Maggo. Maggo did his best to really claw back in there. I think it was.
That is a list that I would have thought would have been perfect for countering this mono blue in terms of the stuff that is in Maggo's lineup.
It got close.
Yeah, it got close, but the fact that Swim beat what I think is an unfavorable matchup, bodes really well for Swim in this series. He's got one more game to win to move on to the finals, but I'd be really confident if I were Swim.
Maggo queuing up, Swim, as always, making us wait,
taking his time, hydrating.
In the semifinals of a big money tournament. And he has to take his time, decide. Well, he can't decide what deck he's going to bring. He only has one left. But Maggo has to make a choice between this mono red list or his red-green Abaddon list. We'll see what he decides. He's already queuing up, so he decided a long time ago. But Swim, going to the bathroom maybe. I think he has a cat. Maybe he's petting it.
I mean, it's entirely possible. If I know Swim, he's probably taking a few pills, putting some conditioner in his hair, relaxing.
Could be.
Yawning a bit. He yawns a lot. I think it's because he finds us boring, but he's a yawner.
Well, he can't hear us now. There is a delay on the stream for those viewers that might, think these very mischievous things. What if the players are stream sniping? That's why they know how to react to different cards.
Yes,
can't be. There's a 10 or 15 minute delay, so it's not an option.
It is 13 minutes and 31 seconds exactly.
Wow. Exciting numbers.
And it looks like we are finally jumping into the game. Swim has decided to join us. And spoiler alert, it's red-green versus red-black again. Maggo brought the same list.
And this time, Lodestone is a whole lot more exciting. It doesn't have an animation, but it can still win games. As, well, Aphotic Shield can because Maggo's playing red-black.
All right, and Swim looking pretty good in this opening hand because you've got a Stars Align. You do also have a Gust, which can find value in this particular matchup. It's not the same as a duel or a coup de grace, but again, being able to stop your opponent from taking high-quality actions is still relevant.
We'll see PA can come down in lane 1, but would die to the Legion Commander. Might just see her come down in lane 2 instead. Try and find the matchup. Well, would guarantee the matchup with Triad because there are no creeps currently spawning in that lane. And with 2 gold, not many items you can buy to save that Treant.
No, not at all. And I feel like this is Swim baiting us casters. There's no way he puts Drow in this middle lane, right? Like, you double stack your green heroes and you got a 50-50 of running into Legion Commander and dying? What does he see that I don't, Panda?
Well, he doesn't really have the combo in hand right now, so it would be... I mean, you are Swim, but it would be a reach to imagine you're going to draw into both the second Stars Align and the Time of Triumph, even though we did see that exact thing against Petrify.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible that he's saying if I land in front of the Legion Commander, the armor from the tree protects me. But knowing you're going to trade in the third lane would have made that potentially attractive. Again, like, double stacking your green is the part that's puzzling to me, because if you draw Salamane's Favor, then you have to play it in the same lane, right? You can't cross-lane play it.
He almost got it. He does draw at the Time of Triumph, does not draw Stars Align, but this means that in 2 turns, there's an almost guaranteed Time of Triumph from Swim. There isn't enough magic in the deck for Maggo, and there are a few tools like Duel already in hand and Gank as well. So I think the green hero is going to be the most important thing here for Maggo to control. Has to kill those green heroes and keep initiative to do so before Stars Align can come down.
Now, Legion Commander is very upset at this opposing creep, is deciding to prioritize that as opposed to the tower. That's not Richard the Creep, is it? I can't tell.
It's not.
No.
If you magnify a tiny bit, you can see it isn't. But what we do see here is Triad dying.
Yeah.
Gust available, but again, an early gust just doesn't really feel
And
that good.
if you really wanted to stall, I was going to say you could either duel and then play the Bronze Legionnaire, or you could play the Standard Bearer. But either way, you're securing a kill on both green heroes, and that is a big deal.
But they'll be coming back in 2 turns, which is the exact turn they need to come back for to have that Stars Align Time of Triumph combo. If a Salamania's Favor is drawn next turn, it would be a feels bad moment for Swim, but things not going too bad. No curve here to kill this creep from the Bronze Legionnaire, and the Stonehall Elite, the bigger brother, will come down to take down Richard in this last lane.
Now, I was going to say, given that you're going to lose your trade to Bristleback anyway, duel here to get rid of the Cheeseburger Man, as we like to call him, is an attractive play. Maggo agrees.
2-for-1 special, always a great special to have. Better than the 1-for-1 special.
And if you're the Cheeseburger Man, that's exactly what you're looking for.
20 gold in Maggo's favor. Could have found the Helm Dominator, instead finds a Bracers of Sacrifice. Unfortunately, the Rick's cosplay is gone in group stages, so not going to be all that useful.
Yeah, but we do see a couple of Stonehall Cloaks to keep your heroes nice and healthy, and a Blink Dagger for mobility, which is always important.
This is full control of lane 2 for Maggo. Could even be close to a tower kill this turn. A lot of damage coming through there. No defense from Swim, of course. Most of his heroes in the fountain, and only Axe coming back. Going to choose to go to lane 3 instead. And Legion will have to fight against a Bristleback and a Tidehunter in lane 1 with the help of 2 creeps.
Yeah, this is one of those turns, like, throughout the round where everything's going to feel like Maggo is having a great turn, right? It's going to be coming up Maggo. The problem is the following turn, we're going to have 3 heroes deployed, and we're going to have access to Stars Align into Time of Triumph. So much like last game, we might see Maggo taking an early lead, and then Swim has the ability, or at least has the tools, to potentially wrestle this away from him.
Stonehall Cloak can come down to keep the Bristleback a tiny bit healthy, maybe looking for a Berserker's Call if he finds it for next turn. Could kill 2 green heroes if they're badly positioned. And lane 2 is looking scary for Maggo already.
Yeah, it certainly is. Kind of thinking ahead, when Swim goes to deploy for this Time of Triumph play, I have to think that you're going to try to dodge that middle lane. As tempting as it might be to, contest that with the Time of Triumph heroes, you don't want to run into a coup or a gank or something like that. And with Phantom Assassin being the only black hero, you kind of dodge that. So do you think that Swim is going to be targeting that 3rd lane?
Well, it's hard to call. Lane 1 does look in his favor right now, although there are 2 heroes. The lane is still quite healthy, and Legion will be surviving here with a very weak Tidehunter, bothering her but not killing her or anything close this turn. Spot weakness does come down, doesn't do too much, just cycles into a duel this turn for Maggo. And because red-black does not have that ramp from green, it means that although Time of Triumph is in hand, it's still quite far away from Maggo.
Yeah, it's always unfortunate when you have to play by the rules, right? When you can't just, I'm at 8 mana.
Gang's coming down on Axe. Going to say, see you later. You cannot have control of this lane. And we might even see a blink as well, just to make sure some damage is pushed in that lane as well, and kind of split your resources between 2 lanes.
All right. Well, I mean, I guess that answers that question. We're likely going to see Swim go to that first lane then. Now, it does slow the pressure here.
But still, a lane down to 16 HP on turn 2.
Yeah.
Can't complain.
And it does allow you to pressure that 3rd lane as well. And as we know, you have to take 2 towers if you want to win, or 1 ancient. But this is a great start. So again, like, this turn feels like it's all Maggo, right? Everything going his way.
And
but
great play from Maggo there, getting the Kraken Shell onto Legion, knowing he has no plays in lane 3 anyway, and securing initiative in case he does draw, something like a Berserker's Call. That could be crucial in lane 1. And now Swim has to either really go into lane 1, where there's going to be 3 heroes for Maggo, or split between 2 other lanes. So Swim giving up lane 3 to Maggo. PA will do her own thing. And lane 3, if the right cards are drawn, could be pretty crucial. Even enough magic would be pretty good.
All right, so Swim is looking to hedge his bets, play some defense, make sure that I've got a red and a green in 2 different positions just in case something goes wrong.
I like this more. You can blink out one of the heroes in lane 1 if you see a big commitment into lane 1, but Swim instead going to give up lane 2, so...
Yeah, I mean, I like the split. Doesn't matter which lane he goes in, and the reason I like it is because theoretically you could draw a Stars Align in a second time of Triumph, so...
This is better. Reading the board, I think this is the best decision from Swim. It was better than the one he had initially, with the 2 heroes going to lane 2.
All right, so a second time of Triumph was found, but not a second Stars Align. But it's still a very good, very big pickup for Swim.
And Blink Dagger not in hand for Swim, which means that once Maggo sees Time of Triumph come down this lane, if he does see it, I'm going to stall for now, see what happens. He can blink out one of his heroes to lane 3. Even the Tidehunter, which next turn will be very crucial. Take lane 2 easily.
And here is the stars, aligning, if you will.
And no enough magic here for Maggo.
Yeah, there is no enough magic, and unfortunately the duel, is not enough damage.
I think we'll see an abandon here from Maggo, to be honest. Of course, he can't be scared of the blink from Swim himself. Does not know what item this is. But Jasper Dagger is definitely the worst, or the least of the... Not as bad for Maggo, basically. The Blink Dagger would have been much more impactful, but let's both heroes dies.
Yeah, it just takes the budget down Portal Scroll.
I think he knows he can't just Blink Axe away, take this tower anyway, and block some damage here.
Yeah, that's entirely possible. You could Blink Axe backwards. Your pressure is also slowed down in lane 3 now, so it's possible that he could go there just to try to get... Yeah, I was going to say additional pressure there because lane 1, you've lost, right? Like, that's the one you're abandoning now.
The Gust is a possibility from Swim, but 12 damage already coming onto the tower is maybe a bit too much, but now this could be lethal for Maggo. Gust or duel onto the Drow with 8 attack plus Allegiance Chandelier would be lethal onto the tower. Gust does come down in the end,
Gust does come down.
So he takes the 12 damage to face. He has the Legionnaire to block.
Well, he's going to take probably 4 damage because you can use the Legionnaire to soak. It's the right call.
Or even the duel with Jasper Daggers.
Yeah, that's even better. You might value the duel a little bit higher just because it's something that can interrupt, but it does slow down Maggo.
I think it has to be the duel. I mean, you're killing the Axe, the Phantom Assassin is dying. There's no item in hand for Maggo to respond with the Jasper Daggers himself, so
yeah.
This has to be what Swim goes for. Instead, it goes for the Legionnaire.
Yeah.
That's very interesting. He could have just completely taken control of this lane. I guess the lane is still at 40 HP, so you want to play more for maybe long-term value.
Right. And duel, it's just such a powerful card because it can shut things down. And it's much like you said, if that tower was not at 40, I think you take the duel 100% of the time. But you're not going to take this tower in all likelihood over the next 2 turns. And you don't want to give a scenario where Maggo gets to deploy 4 heroes all on the same turn. So,
and this should be lane 1 taken over this turn. If the right plays are found for Swim. And with 3 heroes on the fountain for Maggo, this could be a lot of trouble in lane 3 with 3 heroes already there. And 2 blinks found from Swim as well for the turn after this one.
Oh,
so
those blinks are massive.
Spring the Trap also found to push lethal this turn if he needs it. Can just wait for the next turn, though.
I suspect that spring actually might just go into the 3rd lane this turn.
Yep.
And there it is. And Swim is, again, showing why he is considered one of the better, if not the best players in Artifact. He is navigating these games masterfully. Good conservative calls, always making sure he gives himself a chance to win.
The daggers and the blink can actually push damage, for the 4 extra damage this turn to get the lethal in this tower, just to guarantee he can just blink out next turn and not have any problems with that.
And I think that's exactly what we're going to see.
Now, Lodestone. All of a sudden, the last lane is down to 14 HP. Second lane has been taken already. With all this blinkety blinks, the initiative will be in favor for Maggo. And there'll be maybe, if he blinks from this lane and doesn't play initiative, Swim will lose any kind of answer in lane 3. And if Lodestone is drawn, it could be game-winning with the PA coming back next turn.
I mean, If it's drawn and Swim blinks, it would be game-winning because that Legion Commander
Well,
alone has 7 armor.
Right now, Maggo has to not make any plays. We'll see if he goes for that. We'll see if he thinks that he has to defend this thing, he has to play Spring the Trap. And maybe I guess he believes that Swim will make a play anyway, and maybe he just blinks with the heroes anyway, so...
Well, yeah, I mean, the Lodestone's a lot less attractive unless those heroes
And he has to draw it as well.
blink, right?
26 cards in the deck, only 1 Lodestone. Can Richard come in clutch for Maggo?
Richard? No, of course not, because as the panel said, Richard has chosen Swim, right?
The duel comes out instead, playing around the Stars Align. Very smart play from Maggo.
Yep, plays around the Stars Align and also makes it so that naturally next turn you can't play the Emissary.
A call can come down to push through a whole lot of damage. The Bristleback will be dying this turn, but could be a duel instead. Still, Bristleback will die. Oh, there's a Fountain Flask, actually. The duel does come down, and the heal will come back on Bristleback.
Yeah, I like that duel a lot.
Tidehunter has his Ravage up, actually, so that could be crucial next turn as well with a nice open slot here.
There is the heal. And not, again, pushing a lot of damage to the tower this turn, but putting yourself in a very good position to do so this next turn. All right.
Now, the Triumph, the natural time of Triumph is there for Swim. It might be very tempting for next turn, but...
So Phantom going to the first lane makes an awful lot of sense because you do
coup.
have the blink and you
to
have a
coup
coup.
the Treant, though. The 7 armor on Legion could be game winning.
Well,
we'll see if he coups anyone. If he finds the blink, the
if you find the Lodestone,
I don't think you coup anyone. You just take it. The draw's here for Maggo.
and oh, see if he would have made both pickoffs Lodestones, he would have one.
He can play Spot Weakness in lane 2. He would lose initiative, though. But there's a coup coming out first. Loses
Oh,
the time of
loses
Triumph.
the time of Triumph. That is actually a really big deal.
That is game losing even. You had 3 heroes. You had to push a little bit more damage, but it was close.
That is
Ready
a,
for the next
yeah,
round.
he knows. He is not happy because you could have played Spring the Trap from the middle lane, blinked Phantom Assassin over, got your time, and at a minimum would have maybe
And the
forced
Gust now stops the blink
a draw.
from
Maggo. And he knows. He knows.
And that might just be game here. The favor comes out to help on lane 3, which is the lane that's going to decide this game at this moment. Even if Lodestone was drawn, the crushes of millions would be, or the hearts of millions would be crushed without Gust there onto PA.
Well, it's like we said, though, right? If you draw the Lodestone, you don't coup there anyway. You just blink immediately.
Well, the Spot Weakness draws it. It'd be a sad day for Artifact players worldwide.
Maggo, you should have went all in. No pickoffs, only Lodestones.
He can still survive one more turn. We could see a Spot Weakness or Spring the Trap.
I mean, you have to Spring the Trap here, right?
Well, if you think Time of Triumph needs to be played, you might have to, just high roll into it from Spot Weakness.
Yeah, the problem is with only 2 heroes there now, the Time of Triumph I don't think is enough to push.
Also,
So-
initiative is in favor of Maggo. He can play the Tidehunter Ravage. Jasper Daggers is there, though. He can unstun one of the heroes.
And the Spring the Trap does come down and gets a very fortunate placement in front of the Treant. So, actually, if Maggo can
Ooh.
stall,
There are phase boots in the hand for Maggo, so he could.
if Maggo can stall, he actually has a legitimate play on trying to push the Ancient next turn. That tower's at 44 health, but there's a decent amount of presence there. That Phantom Assassin has a natural Blink Dagger already. The Axe is coming back.
Now, mana has been spent. Maggo can kind of go, so he has to be scared of the duel, but he can go solitaire mode. He can play the phase boots onto Tidehunter. He can swap with Bristleback, and he can go for the Ravage. The Axe will probably be unstunned with the Jasper Daggers.
Yeah, I was just counting the math, and because the Treant cannot be the one that duels, Phase Boots makes it so that it would survive a duel anyway.
There's
So-
still a chance to draw into Lodestone next turn and win the game. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm being annoying with this, but it's a legitimate win condition here
It is
for
a win
Maggo, all
condition,
things considered.
but again, so is potentially an Ancient play in that middle lane. There's already over 20 damage there. If no creeps go, and you have the blink on your Phantom Assassin, you have your Axe coming back, you've got Standard Bearer, Berserker's Call, and or Pickoff to clear off maybe even more creeps. that's going to be something to consider.
Now, exactly 22 damage coming in on Tidehunter means he cannot stall. You have to play the Ravage this turn, I think, or else you just lose it anyway. So if he could survive with 1 HP, I think he would even consider waiting, because the damage is not lethal yet onto this tower for Maggo, and using that Ravage next turn to try and win the game. But
yeah, this I feel like has to be a Ravage. And the Jasper Daggers will not be enough even still, because the cleave damage will go away.
So the Tidehunter will survive.
Yeah, and it's going to take a lot of damage, but it will survive.
Now we can see Legion Standard Bearer coming down in that middle lane, or in that middle position, to block some. Well,
that creep is stunned,
anyway.
so
yeah.
I think you hold the Standard Bearer just in case you need to make that play for the Ancient.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense. 12 damage coming through. All of a sudden, it's almost lethal here for Maggo.
Yeah, he's trying to set up, if I can't take the Ancient, maybe I force a draw, and I like, again, that play as well. Maggo showing some mental fortitude here.
Initiative in favor of Swim, can play the Drow in the second lane to defend if he believes.
No creeps in the middle, so it would only be Drow going. Oh, I would, with the Blink Dagger there, I would personally like to see that go in the middle.
But the Drow going to the middle to defend could, with the Gust, and Initiative could stop 2 heroes from blinking, so it's a little bit too risky, I think, for Maggo.
Man. All right.
Now, if Lodestone is found, Initiative is in favor of Swim anyway, so Maggo's going to play Spot Weakness in the middle lane, I believe, unless he finds Spring the Trap.
Oh. But
Lodestone not found.
if he finds it off the Spot Weakness, Kraken Shell in the middle would give him the opportunity.
There isn't lethal damage
to
on this
lead
tower.
with it.
It's not even close, I think.
Well, yeah, because of the arrows.
No, but even with the pickoff and the Standard Bearer and the Phantom here, it would not be enough damage, I believe.
No, because Axe didn't go there.
Uh-huh.
So instead we have a pickoff there. Again, using the resources here. Phantom Assassin goes.
Now, if the Spot Weakness finds Lodestone or enough magic, Maggo wins this game. He has Kraken Shell for initiative.
Yes.
Spot Weakness comes down. There are 2 cards that win this game for Maggo. Lodestone or enough magic.
Oh!
There's a second chance.
You're still live. Oh.
So very unfortunate draws there. Had 2 win conditions, has 20 cards in the deck. There was an immediate out there for Maggo with the Kraken Shell initiative and the chance to find enough magic to deal damage to the tower and still survive. Or the Lodestone to win the game in very flashy style and stay alive in this series. Maggo not very happy, obviously.
Yeah.
Richard not on his side.
And the unfortunate thing is there's no good initiative plays for Maggo, and so once we go to the next lane, that Berserker's Call is going to essentially win-swim the game. So Maggo had outs. I think he navigated these last 2 rounds very well.
He has to find blockers. He has only 1 blocker right now. Berserker's Call can open up a gap here, but he has to close the gap over here. If he plays Berserker's Call, he cannot play the Emissary and the Rose Leaf, so all of a sudden this could be a tie game.
Yeah, that's fair. He needs to... Actually, I don't think he can do anything, right? Because the arrows are already pointing forward. You're not going to catch...
And any amount of damage from any of these 3 creeps or the heroes, so this might just be a tie here. The damage comes through for Maggo, or for Swim, rather.
The call is just essentially ensuring that this is going to be a draw is what that play is.
And despite the draws from Swim, despite the lack of finishing draws for Maggo, he stays alive somehow in this game and in this series. The tie will come through. Spot Weakness can find a duel, but still it won't be enough. The second Spot Weakness again drawn. And then no mana, no plays left. And we see here the tie, damage coming through on both towers. So fantastic play from both players.
Yeah,
but it will be a tie.
I think it's going to be time to rename Spot Weakness into Spot Weakness, because that's what it does. It just finds you another one.
Maggo TPing. He knows that there is no amount of plays that could... Well, Stars Line could potentially open up something, but I think he knows the game was a tie there anyway.
And both players with a bit of a sigh and a chuckle. Again, very well navigated. Maggo, you know, we were talking about how Swim has been winning because he plays to his outs. Maggo was doing everything right there at the end. He just needed a draw to go the right way, but I was impressed with his ability to force a draw and potentially steal a victory there.
And that was, I think, my favorite game of the entire tournament till now. I think it was very back and forth. There was a chance for maybe the best finish till now with Lodestone, but it wasn't drawn. Even enough magic would have been a fantastic comeback from Maggo. But in the end, a tie. We'll see this game again replayed. This game pretty much did not exist, basically. Maggo has a chance to change decks. That is in the rule set, so he can say,
do I want to play this deck a third time?
He could change the mirror match instead with red-green and play that Abaddon instead. But he is already queuing again, Swim, taking his time.
Yeah, Swim needs a drink.
Going to the bathroom.
Doing his hair.
Massaging his cat.
Stretching his eyebrows.
Touching his hair.
Again?
He does it a lot.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's
Every
fair.
2 times you have to repeat it.
That's fair.
But Swim is stuck on his deck. He has to play red-green ramp. He's stuck with his Omni Knight version? No. Drow version, sorry.
Drow.
There's so many different versions now.
And looks like the players are in the game, and Maggo sticking with it.
And a pretty interesting hand, Red Mist Pillager there as an ultra win condition later on.
Yeah, the Time of Triumph, not what you want to see in your opening hand if you're Maggo, but Red Mist Pillager is actually decent in this particular matchup because if your opponent does not have the Berserker's Call or the duels to keep it in check when it comes down, there's no board sweeps.
Stars Align is there. Swim again proved me wrong last game. He drew into his ramp, the Time of Triumph the second turn, so I think he might just do the same again if we follow the trend.
I mean, he has Richard's backing according to the panel. He has been chosen.
Spot weakness can come down, but no great matchup here. And in the last lane, almost a kill there for Legion
almost.
Commander.
I mean, this
Pick off can come in clutch though next turn and kill this Treant. And stop any kind of Salaminia's favorite play from lane 3 back to lane 1, for example.
Yeah, it's a pretty uneventful first turn. Not many plays. Everybody kind of just setting up for the future.
I think you will see PA go to lane 1. Can pick off the Bristleback actually with initiative and save his own Bristleback. That's going to be a lot more value actually. Let Legion do her own thing in lane 3. But make sure to kill the opponent's Bristleback with the armor, also going in favor of his own Bristleback. And with initiative, there's pretty much nothing that Swim can do about this.
Now, with the pickoff, right? Is there a chance that you maybe target the Treant instead of the Bristleback? I mean, if the Stars Align comes down, then you just ruin the Time of Triumph here, but kind of being pro.
The Lodestone is found.
We found the
taunt comes out.
The taunt comes out.
Swim does not know what it is, but he knows something big is coming later on.
Isn't exactly how
You can tell that these are players that are very familiar with each other because that's the most activity during a game we've seen all tournament.
Pickoff has to come down, I think, on the Bristleback. It's just way too big for a trade here. There is no creep in green. Oh,
yeah.
Come out on tree instead.
And the reason I was mentioning it earlier is we've talked about how getting rid of the green heroes slows down the ramp, right? So picking these off, literally, I got it right this time, is a viable game plan.
Roseleaf Druid can come down on this lane. I'm not sure if I'm a fan of that play, though. I mean, if you have to tell me his favor, you can play it from this side anyway with Drow with the mana open anyway. So if that's what Maggo was scared of, he had that chance. And Drow was dying to PA, so... and Treant was dying to Legion anyway in the combat phase, so...
And we see some cycling. And shockingly, Spot Weakness didn't find Spot Weakness. I didn't know that was allowed.
Spot Weakness does find Coup here for Maggo for later on. Can be crucial, like you said, to kill these green heroes before Stars Align can be played. If initiative is in their favor. And Maggo is 17 gold.
That's a lot of gold.
Finds the perfect Blink Dagger, Jasper Dagger, Stonehall Cloak trio.
Yeah, and opts instead for an Assassin's Veil.
You could kill the Legion in lane 2.
Yeah, I mean, that's an interesting... that is an interesting Secret Shop buy. Secret Shop's been very important throughout the entire tournament.
And now, with only 2 heroes in the lanes for Swim, there's going to be one lane that has a red hero where Red Mist Pillagers can come down. Lane 1, I think, will not be it because it's a very wide lane already for Swim. But lanes 2 and 3, probably lane 3, though, without any answer from any heroes from Swim, means that Red Mist Pillagers will be developed. Oh, this might be Swim reading into this.
Yeah.
It's a very small detail. But like we said before, if they snowball out of control, Red Mist Pillagers can be game deciding.
I mean, there is also, just like the matchups, right? Like having your axe run into somebody else's axe, not that interesting. Having your axe run into the already wounded opposing Legion commander. Granted, there's no guarantee, but if you're 50-50 either way, I think that this is just a better deployment.
Now, full control with the heroes here on lane 1 for Maggo, but an extremely wide creep lane And the stars align and Time and Triumph is there for Swim. Unfortunately, no heroes to benefit from it.
Yeah, that could have been a very dangerous turn, but the green heroes at the fountain getting a drink. They were thirsty.
This could be a duel potentially to kill someone, that, but I think it's just not worth it. And you only have the Tidehunter actually, so you don't have to equip the Jasper Daggers onto it. I think we just see.
I think this is just an uneventful pass because there's no good plays here.
And 8 damage still coming through. You could not even duel the Rosy because of the low attack on the Tidehunter, so I think we just see the Jasper Daggers on axe instead. The Assassin's Veil will allow the damage onto Legion. There are no creeps to block this for Swim, and will be a cleanup lane in lane 2 as well.
Now, is Assassin's Veil...
Veil?
Is that their standard meal? You said Veal.
It's Veil, right?
Yeah, it is Veil.
All right, I'm Spanish, so I get
Assassin's
an
Veil
out. I'm not English. It's my second language.
It's making me hungry, man. Sounds delicious.
It does not look like a veal, though. It looks like a veil.
No, not at all.
That being said, though, only one play available for now. Swim has sold himself. He only has 1 mana. There are no 1 mana plays in the deck list for Swim. So Maggo knows he has full control. At the moment, he can play Red Mist Pillagers. This is lane 2. Has a bit more of a preference, and there is an axe in this lane. So
can use the items to make the trade and develop Pillager, and that
would be huge.
That's a big against a tower this low.
Ooh, pass instead.
Wow,
that's very interesting.
I am shocked.
I guess he wants to make sure that Legion survives this turn. You can play the daggers and the Nasal Goo to kill the axe this turn.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, you just need the daggers.
Maybe it's just me, but I'm a big fan of trying to get these Red Mist Pillagers up and running. And because the mana was spent in that lane, it's safer. Whereas here, we can see that Swim's hand, he's not going to play anything, and now you're going to feel bad because you don't want to lose it to a duel or something. So,
well, the daggers can come in from Swim as well.
Yeah, this is going to be a very close game, right? These are two players that have been kind of in each other's heads.
Does Maggo commit to the Red Mist Pillager? I think he should. It's risky.
I mean, we think so because we can see the hand, but...
And at the end of the day, this is a bonus. It's not your, sole win condition.
No, not at all.
If it is, then you have to say, I have to be very careful. But at this point, it's basically saying, do you have an answer? No. Well, good for me. It's a bit of a bonus, but not... If you lose it, it's not the end of the world. And damage coming through on the tower. Axe blinks out to save itself. And there are the Red Mist Pillagers multiplying.
Well, this is going to be a big deployment for Swim. I think we're going to see a split. Probably red-green in one, red-green in the other. And then the question then just becomes, do you go for the 3-man Time of Triumph?
You have to be careful. 22 HP on lane 3, 22 HP on lane 2. No Blink Daggers in hand for Swim or gold to buy them this turn. Only Jasper Daggers there, so...
Yep, so...
Yeah, it has to be a 2-2 split, I think.
Here's the split.
You have the chance to draw into exactly 1 Time of Triumph and 1 Stars Align.
I want to point something out here. He's putting Drow in that second lane instead of the Treant. That's a pretty heads-up play if you know your opponent has a Lodestone Demolition and your tower is already pretty low. Because that, it's not Time of Triumph damage, but that...
And maybe the early taunt from Maggo could be game deciding if Swim reads it as, hello, I have Lodestone Demolition, thank you.
Oh, the mind games. All right, so these are locked in.
Again, a very wide lane for Swim in lane 1, and the tower's already very low. Down to 17, 12 damage being threatened. The Drow buff comes in, 14 damage instead. We see an arrow here blocking the lethal on the Rose Leaf Druid, and a few duels in hand. That is true.
Yeah, it's interesting because right now the lethal is blocked, but I feel like Maggo almost wants to use a Town Portal Scroll this turn.
Double Stars Align. No secondary payoff, though. Only that single Time of Triumph. A coup can come down. But Maggo, in this lane you have 2 red heroes, so... Coup comes down here on Bristle.
Oh, no! Oh!
Why is this my life? Why can we not see 1 single Lodestone Demolition played to win the game?
Yeah,
what did I do wrong
Maggo.
Indeed, Maggo? Punished. Richard, please.
And here's the thing, right? Not only just from the fun factor, but that... had the potential to be a
Oh,
counter
yeah.
to this
It's a
early China
legitimate
triumph.
game-winning play.
That's the card that you have as your tech for this matchup. So you gave it away. That is frustrating.
And with the Bristleback dead, the favorite comes out instead to get the natural mana in lane 2. So even without initiative, you can just play a single Time of Triumph.
Yeah, that has got to feel pretty bad, because once this comes down, again, there is going to be an awful lot of armor here on a relatively low tower already. That could have been, I mean, you couldn't do it this turn, right? You would have had to find some mobility to get Phantom Assassin here, but it could have been a very, very big play.
I'm upset, Charmer. I'm very upset.
I know, you can't see it at home, but Panda is visibly upset.
And there's really nothing that Lodestone is never coming back. There's only one in the deck. There's no discard.
Yeah. So cheer up, Panda. Spam emotes in the chat. If you sub to me, use my face. I know he loves my face.
22 damage coming through. Maggo's still taunting, but he knows the game is slipping away. Lane 3, though, a potential ancient kill. I mean, there's no heroes coming in next turn. There's no Blink Dagger right now. Only 5 gold for Swim. So all of a sudden, if Maggo can defend this lane, he has a Tidehunter Ravages next turn. This lane could be in trouble.
Yeah, we're going to see a cycle. Yep, I was just about to say.
Oh, that's such an important draw.
Huge.
For the viewers at home, this might not look like a Time of Triumph, but it basically could be. That is pushing the tower lethal this turn and accelerating the 2-turn clock with these random pillagers the turn after this. So
yeah, the fact that the tower falls now is really important, because you can't over damage a tower, right? If that thing stayed at 4 health, doesn't matter if you do 80 to it next turn, it only takes the 4 damage, but because it popped right now, it cracked its shell, if you will, the Ancient is exposed, and that is a very, very big deal.
the Phase Boot's not found for Maggo to try and find guaranteed lethal on Triad, let's say. Gust is there for Swim. He has the 8 mana. Initiative is there for Swim, though. He has the answer. He can Gust first into the Ravage, for example. Spring
Now,
the Trap is huge, can help out lane 3.
Here's the thing. He can Gust, and with 2 stars aligned, can turn around and play the Emissary. That is a huge play for Swim.
Dagger's not there for Maggo. You do not have the Jasper Daggers to block, to unblock the... Yeah, the Ravage is blocked.
There's the Gust, and if we see a double stars into an Emissary, then the Treant would deal 8, with the Daggers would deal 10. He is so close to taking this down.
Yeah, you have to defend this lane. It's all about this lane right now.
Yeah. So great.
The damage will, even with Emissary, the damage will not pull through to kill these heroes, so they're still going to be here next turn to block, and Ravage will still be available.
Yeah, but we do have another Gust, so initiative is going to be very important the rest of the way.
There's no initiative plays in hand for Swim. There's no Blink Daggers for Swim either. If Maggo's patient, he'll have, I think, more than enough damage next turn in that third lane with the multiplication from the Revenant's Pillagers.
Wow, this, again, a very incredibly close game in the series between these two players.
The single Centaur does die, but everything else survives there, so... No Blink Daggers for Swim.
No.
Stuck in this lane. He takes the tower, sure, but you have to take the first lane as well. Only Bristleback coming in.
Yeah,
a 4v2 there. Now, Maggo, is he patient or does he play the Spring and Trap? He might just play the Spring and Trap instead to block this lane even.
All right.
Yeah, he plays the Spring.
Plays the Spring to slow things down.
Time of Triumph in hand for Maggo. We're going to be at mana turn 8, even without ramp next turn. And the multiplication here from Remnant Pillagers. 4 more coming in. Guaranteeing lethal. Only Bristleback can defend. There isn't gold for a Blink Dagger for Swim. He cannot go back to that lane. It's impossible. The creep spawns. 1 creep spawns. One can pull some arrows, but duel is there for Maggo as well.
Yeah, and Legion Standard Bearer and things like that. So I think no matter what happens, if it gets to that last lane, there's going to be enough damage.
The Tidehunter cannot be killed. It has too much health for a duel to come through to stop the Ravage. The call is there. No Time of Triumph for Swim. Time of Triumph in hand for Maggo.
So this is a very important play.
The damage has been blocked, but
now,
the duel can stop that.
Now you have the Gust, or oh man, so you have the Gust, but you don't have your
But you can't do anything in lane 3.
Yeah,
you have to push damage here to win the game, or it's over.
Yeah, you don't have access to your Berserker's Call if you gust. Now, if you Berserker's Call, now you're essentially saying, well, I mean, you got to do it, but now you're saying...
That's it. That's game for Maggo. There's no Blink Daggers. There's no Spring the Trap either for Swim. There's no response to this third lane. And we talked about Red Mist Pillagers on the panel as well. A lot of mono red players not bringing it, deciding they weren't worth it. But we see here it's a game-winning play for Maggo in the semifinals of this tournament. So a great decision for him. Ravage comes through.
And misses the hero, but again...
Does not matter. The damage is blocked. 12 HP still in this tower for Maggo. And Maggo does not know that there are no Blink Daggers for Swim. If he's counting the gold, he can know this. But right now...
Right now, Swim also... If you're wondering why Swim hasn't conceded, there are arrows pulled in that third lane. So Swim is holding on just in case Maggo doesn't have a duel.
But with 8 mana, you can play Legion Standard Bear, Stonehall Lead, duels. I mean, there's so many options for Maggo.
Yeah. It's one of those, like, there's no red hero there, so Berserker's Call wouldn't even save Maggo. He's just saying, like, okay, you got to show me.
The Spring the Trap could also be an option to stop a lot of damage in that third lane for Swim, but it's not in hand right now. There's no response. Time of Triumph came in early on 3 heroes, but it will not matter. Ancient, not a threat here on this lane. It's close, though.
Yeah.
But just not enough.
Again, this is also... we talked about how Swim plays to his outs, right? If, in theory, Maggo did not have an answer in that third lane, then Swim would be setting this up for an Ancient the next turn, which would win before the other one went off, right? So again, Swim not conceding, playing to his outs.
Maggo seeing every little chance go away. He knows the game is won. He saw the mana go under that Spring the Trap range.
Yep.
And now he finds the duel onto this one creep.
Going to see the duel. But yeah, I mean, Swim, again, plays to his outs, tries to find a way to win. Congratulations, Maggo. You have tied this series up. We're going to Game 4 of this intense series to see who goes to the finals.
And finally, on the second try, he does find the win with a very, unusual win condition. I love that Maggo can, put this on display and say, I brought these pillagers for a reason, and they just won me a game in the semifinals. And now we'll see, the most exciting matchup in this tournament, a red-green mirror to end it all. But Maggo has a Photic Shield.
They are both non-traditional red-green lists as far as the current meta has been. And I'm a little sad that the Lodestone ended up getting pitched, and now we don't have an opportunity to see it unless Maggo wins. But
now, all things considered, the Lodestone was discarded, but still the Red Wings Soldiers winning makes me somewhat happy, so I'll take it, Richard. Thank you.
Richard.
Swim, again, taking his time.
Taking his time. You got to hydrate.
Composing
it's important.
himself.
Take a deep breath.
Petting his cat.
Putting conditioner in his hair.
Putting more conditioner in his hair.
Raising his eyebrows. Adjusting his camera so it can zoom in on his face.
And we'll see the start of the game here.
All right,
Maggo
let's go ahead and jump in.
Has the favor and has the triumph as Richard finally turned his back on Swim in the most important moment.
Not just has a triumph, but also has an emissary. So Maggo has gotten most of the puzzle. If he draws a Stars Align, he can assemble Voltron on turn 2.
Duels are in the hand for Swim to combat this.
I'm wrong, actually. So this is one thing that we have mentioned in the past. Maggo's hero deployment does not give him access to 2 green heroes on the second turn. So unless it's a double Stars Align, he cannot go into the turn 2 Time of Triumph or Emissary.
The curve there could have killed the Legion. Does not find it. Gust not in hand for Swim. That's the one answer.
Yeah, that would have been the one answer.
If double Stars Align is drawn for Maggo, that could be a big problem for Swim. And we'll see the important here, the deployment phase. Drow.
All right, Drow goes to the first lane.
Triad going to the second.
Yeah, and I mean, this makes sense with Drow going to the first simply because you have no creeps helping you in the third. You don't want Drow to run immediately into Legion Commander, so
now
good placement.
Maggo has no idea what Swim's hand looks like. It could also have Stars Align and Time of Triumph, so maybe Swim or Maggo goes for a duel on the Drow, for example, in this first lane.
Yeah, I mean, it is...
It's scary. You have to think, I mean, maybe he has it.
It is something that is still doable if you just drop your favor in this lane.
Well, Swim found a summon his favor. I think he knows that even if one Stars Alliance played, 2 have to be played. So he can wait for one and then duel the Drow anyway. So no rush here for Maggo just yet. The Mist also found for Swim and the Roseleaf Druid.
Yeah, both of these hands are actually incredibly similar. The only difference is that Maggo has the late game already. Players are packing duels. a little bit of ramp, and then Maggo with the late game, whereas Swim more of the like mid-range package.
Well, if the Druid survives, it means that a turn 3 Time of Triumph can come down for Swim with a 5 mana buff here and then the 7 from the favor from the cross lane, but does not come down. Instead, we see
we see
the Viscous Nasal Goo.
The Nasal Goo come down because Swim has access to 2 green heroes, right? So he can cross-play Salamane's favor back to this lane if he wants.
And there's the duel. Axe was dying anyway. Takes a 2-for-1 special and kills, like we said. The green hero control, very important in the early game for both of these players.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, it is worth noting, now Abaddon's coming down next. And the Salamane's favor is in the first lane where the Treant is. So if you draw your stars align, you're basically playing Emissary, not Time of Triumph, because you won't have access to a red hero in the lane where you could do it.
This is full control from Maggo. Both green heroes dying early. The health pool on Drow punishing Swim possibly. You have the chance to gush, sure, but there's a downside that comes with it, and that is a 7 health.
Yeah.
Uncharacteristic health on a green hero. Very low.
Yeah, it's very kind of cool to see that these players have non-traditional versions, and you're also seeing what some of the clunkiness from each of their lists could be. Again, Maggo potentially tripping over his deployment order with the 2 green heroes coming second, and then Swim kind of getting punished for the low health pool.
The Nasal Goo value here, fantastic.
That is a big play. Some nasty goo.
And Maggo seeing that, not wasting it on a Treant that was already dying, making sure he looks at lane 3 as well and just playing very well from, very good play from Maggo, I think, the whole tournament long. But in this series in particular, both players really displaying a high level of artifact. I'm really enjoying this series, to be honest.
Yeah, that means that, I was going to say that Duel is probably attractive because you're going to lose it either way. So this gets the trade, but it also means that Swim has 4 heroes at the fountain. This next turn, Maggo can kind of do whatever he wants, but then the following turn, Swim will have 4 heroes to deploy.
Blink Dagger found for Swim, a major problem last game. Double Blink found for Maggo, though. No golden ticket this time.
Yeah, you got to think that Swim is happy to see a dagger here.
It was his major downfall the last game. Had no answer to that third lane, no movement abilities without Darkseer. Instead going for Drow. Probably for the matchup against Lumi yesterday, but still coming in fairly clutch in this matchup as well, and the last one against Petrify.
And Swim, I think, has a tough decision here, right? When you only have 1 hero to deploy and all the other ones are at the fountain, you're not even really thinking about this turn. Typically, you're trying to think about, what am I going to do in the follow-up? Where are they going to go? So what makes the most sense here?
Well, he can play a double turn basically with Axe and the Blink Dagger. He can Blink Axe to lane 2 and find value, with the mana in both lanes. Does not have to be scared of a Gust or any kind of damage spell because green in this matchup normally only really works for ramping for the most part, especially in the version that has the Abaddon instead.
Well, and the worst thing about this placement with the Axe is, yeah, you could get double value out of it, but on mana turn 5, there's not a lot of options.
And the Time of Triumph found for Maggo. The duel is there for Swim, but there isn't a Jasper Dagger. You have to equip.
Oh, wow. All right.
I like it. The Emissary comes out instead. You have a wide lane, you have full control, and you have 2 heroes in lane 2 anyway, so you have some...
I was just about to say, I am digging this aggressive play, saying you have no answer here, I have a wide lane. Time of Triumph is cool and all, but Emissary, we've seen in the past, Emissary can be even better in the red-green matchup because with no board sweeps, not only do you pressure a tower, but you threaten Ancient Kill. And this Berserker's Call clears things up for Swim, so he can start generating pressure. May see Abaddon activate just to heal and kind of stall.
Well, the Blink Dagger, we're going to force out the Stonehawk Cloak if you play the Assassins.
Yeah.
And the Blink Dagger.
The Assassin's Veal.
Oh, the Assassins. That's all I'm going to call it now.
It's his favorite meal.
Just Assassins. That's all I'm going to stick to that, Charmer. You're bullying a poor non-native English speaker.
I'm going to rhyme with some zeal.
That's a difficult word.
All right. So, Abaddon hanging out in this lane, trying to make Axe kneel.
Charmer, be careful now.
Thank you.
Why? Are you afraid I'm going to steal
Oh my goodness.
the
The
spotlight?
Stonehawk Cloak does come down. No matter what Maggo does, it will not affect this Axe here. Cannot kill it this turn. No Jasper Dagger in hand. So I think Maggo will instead play for initiative.
Yeah, and I think that's the right call.
You could see the blink on Axe.
You know,
But can't really do much in the second lane anyway. Only duels and Viscous Nasal Goo in hand. Could make a trade with this creep, but probably not worth it.
because you have 2 Blink Daggers in hand, there's going to be a very, very strong temptation by Maggo, I think, to dump both these red heroes in the first lane, even though you're already winning it with the Emissary, because you'll have access to Time of Triumph, and then you can ship them to another lane and start pressuring.
And you'll have the buff from the Emissary as well. So, I mean,
Yes.
it's all upsides for Maggo. Double Blink already in hand. 2 gold for both players. Well, now 2 gold for Swim after purchasing the Potion of Knowledge. Trying to look for some ramps still. 6 mana in this lane and 7 here.
Wow.
Could not play the favor due to the lack of green heroes. And now he's really praying to the gods above. Give me a Stars Align. Give me a Time of Triumph. Let me win this game.
Or even just give me like a Berserker's Call where I can try to clear some of this out because I have to stem the bleeding. Or if this gets out of control, I just lose.
A full defense there from Swim. He has 3 draws available, the 2 from the round and then also the Potion of Knowledge. The duel will not be killing the Treant, which is the only green hero in this lane. It is too healthy for now. If the Blink Dagger comes down on Bristleback, there is the possibility, but then we have Traveler's Cloak and Assassin's Veil to respond.
I was going to say, the issue is that the duel doesn't kill any of these heroes natively.
Time of Triumph comes
and
down
Time
first.
of Triumph will just come straight down. So,
and Swim may read into this and says, I'm out of here.
I think he was doing the same math that we were, right?
And honestly, this looks to be game for Maggo. I mean, it's early to say, but it's looking oh so good. Emissary down on the board. The ramp isn't there yet for Swim.
If there was a player that could try to fight their way out of this, because this has been a rough
This is
start.
even an ancient lane for Maggo. I mean, and then the draw doesn't come through for Swim either. Time and Triumph is there. Potion of Knowledge can respond from Swim.
Yeah, I mean, things look dire. But if there was a player who could fight back, I would say Swim might be it. He's shown time and time again he can play to his outs, and he does not roll over and die.
Double Blink as well comes through. I mean, this is looking, even with, you can just blink to lane 3 instead.
Yeah, I have to assume that we're going to see 2 heroes blink to lane 3.
The Salamania's favor from lane 2 to lane 3 if that Abaddon can survive. You may just see a duel first, though. The duel will be killing Abaddon from Bristleback. But still, 2 Time of Triumph heroes to lane 3. Enough magic as well. Duel also available.
This is going to be disgusting. If he plays that Salamania's favor into the 3rd lane and hits that 2nd Time of Triumph, I mean, it's just over.
And this is a 2-turn clock.
Swim,
I mean, there's little Swim can do with Bristleback coming back next turn. No deployments for Swim. A single Blink Dagger, but this is a 2-turn clock with Emissary buffing every turn.
Yeah, and the problem is if you play anything here or you play the Blink Dagger, sorry, so you're taking the duel. All right.
It stops the favor this turn.
Stops the favor.
And it stops the 2nd Time of Triumph, but initiative is now in favor of Maggo.
Yeah, and that's the sentence I was about to finish. The initiative is now in favor of Maggo, and you can just enough magic if you want, because that's going to kill most of the board and push a ton of damage.
Now, if you blink from this lane, you cannot take it this turn if you're Swim.
Yeah.
Even if Stonehall Lee is played, the lowest attack hero is Triad, and it would not be enough, I believe, if the math checks out here. Even then, now, only 2 mana left, so only duel up. If you put the blink on, you can get the tower this turn, but then you can't actually blink and use the ability for Swim.
Yeah, and depending on placement here, we may not even see enough magic. We could just see like a duel and save the enough magic for next turn. Maggo actually has a number of options, so I assume he's going to take some time, assess the placements. I still think enough magic, is going to be tempting,
it clears so much of this board.
You clear everything but the Legion, and you leave 2 Time of Triumph heroes here.
We'll see if we find another Blink Dagger for Maggo. You do not. Looks like it's the Stonehall Cloak, Jasper Daggers, and Potion of Knowledge, so I think Maggo's going to play the safe game. Going to deploy Bristleback into lane 3 and let the Ancient Tower take itself over time. 1 creep spawns there, no creeps to block. So Swim next turn. It's a 3v1 here. And then he has to spawn these heroes here to defend next turn anyway, so it's looking dire for Swim.
Well, and we now have this lane that is still capable of throwing the Salamania's favor over. Right? So that you can Time a Triumph on 3 heroes there. You have a Legion Standard Bearer that can come down as well.
Or you can play a second Emissary.
Another Emissary. That looks far better than the other play. And the Swim is smiling, but not a happy smile. Like, he knows.
It's not lethal quite yet, but I think he knows it's pretty much over.
He knows, because the problem is Swim can't win this turn, and he can't stop this next turn. Again, no Annihilation in this deck.
The 2nd Blink Dagger was found. but there's just not enough to do. You have to push through 32 damage on these enormous red heroes for Maggo. And finally, the king of ramp gets out-ramped.
And some more emoting between. Oh.
Swim knows the game is pretty much over.
Yeah, they're just having a little bit of fun now at this point. And again, like that's because these players know each other very well.
Axe can fight the better.
Every day I
The damage is coming through here.
Damage is coming through. The duel will lock it in.
And that is game for Maggo, taking the third lane, not the Ancient Tower in the end. But the ramp did finally favor Maggo this time instead of
Yes.
Swim. It was a very close series with Swim starting off with a win and then a tie as well.
Richard betrayed Swim after the tie, right? The tie is what changed things up. I think that this tells us definitively Richard Garfield hates all ties and will turn on you like a traitor if you have any tie game.
But all joking aside, great display of skill from both players, great deck list.
One of the best
and
series we've seen all tournament.
Swim is
hands
eliminated,
down.
but great show from him in the whole tournament. And my champion remains alive. Panel, go over that